Hello, everybody. Arturo Johnson here. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 life-changing books that have radically changed my life, both personally and professionally. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you these 5 books that you can use to radically change your life and help improve the way you do things and how you get results, and really just make you to grow as a human being. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. And so today I'm just going to talk about 5 books that I think personally have really kind of shaped the fabric and the mindset of how I approach every single day, how I approach business. And these are just 5 books that have really been profound, both personally and professionally. And I'm going to talk about just a couple points in these books and some things that you can take away and just really highlight why I think these books are important to me. And so obviously I have the books right here. I'm just looking at them. I kind of admire them because, there's a lot of information out there. And in today's age, fake news travels 6 times faster than real news. And so that means that facts aren't glorified, and the substance and information is, you kind of have to search through things to find that. You have to seek out the truth. And probably in 2018, I think I read close to 100 books in that year, and 80% of them said the same thing, but that 20%, they made all the difference. And so I'm just going to share with you all 5 books that are in my library that have radically helped change my life, both personally and professionally. And so here we go. And the first one is Essentialism. And this is a book by Greg McCown. I don't know how to say that. But essentially, this book is incredible because it talks about, pretty much like the 80-20 principle, only focusing on the things that you actually need, right? Like not living in excess, clearing out waste, clutter, and just focusing on things. And there's a cool diagram in the beginning of this book that I want to share. And this is kind of something that I really focus on and really live by. And as you can see here, this is how a lot of people, in business spend their days. And what they do is they try to do email marketing. They try to do Facebook advertising, YouTube. They try to do LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and on and on. And they try to do all of these things all at once, right? Or, they start in business and they want to open up a car wash. They want to do a podcast. They want to do multi-level marketing. They want to be a real estate investor, and they want to sell insurance all at the same time, right? And so the premise of this diagram is that you only have a finite amount of energy every single day. And the thing that you focus on the most is going to yield the most results. And so I think this is probably like 11 inches of units broken up. And this diagram says the essentialist focuses all of its time and energy into one thing. And so instead of having 11 inches of progress in all directions, we can channel that energy into one thing and get 11 inches of progress. And you can see how this can immediately separate you from your competition with just this one thing. And it really just comes down to focus, right? And there's a lot of different topics in this book that talk about simplifying your life and simplicity, and just really focusing on the things that move the needle, both personally and professionally. And this is just a good personal development book, a good mindset to have. And again, if you saw any of my other videos where I talked about simplicity, about my phone and my keys and my closet, right? The keys being, I only have one key on my keychain besides my car key. And I keep my room, my closet simplified and neat. Everything on one side, the shoes underneath there. You know, a clean closet is a clean mind. And it just talks about how you translate all of those things into life, as well as getting the proper amount of sleep. You know, a lot of people try to go off of a few hours of sleep to grind, and the people who get the proper amount of sleep to you know, rejuvenate their brain exponentially over time, over a long period of time, they tend to do better. And it's just focusing on the essentials, right? It's getting the proper sleep, eating the proper things, getting the proper exercise, and then feeding your mind with the positive and the proper information. So Essentialism, yeah, that's one of my favorite books. Highly recommend it. The next one is the DotCom Secrets by Russell Brunson. And man, Russell Brunson is a marketing genius. And in this first version of this book, he really takes you by the hand and just shows you how to build an online business. And the cover of this one is great, right? It's just a guy at a desk. It looks like he loves what he does in this little dark, dingy basement where he's just, you know, looking at everything. You can see here that he is not trying to reinvent the wheel, right? Which is a huge point for this book. You want to find someone that is doing what you're doing or something similar to that, and you want to model it, right? You don't want to copy it, but you want to model it, right? We don't want to reinvent the wheel. And he just takes you through a bunch of points in this book on how to build a business, but he also teaches you how to create a brand, right? How to process information, right? The old school methods of sales and marketing, right? And so he talks about, you know, the standard traffic funnel, right? Which is attention, right? Traffic, all that is attention, whether it's to your website, whether it's to your blog on YouTube, whether it's to your page, your webinar. You want to drive traffic to something, and you want to use something to capture somebody's attention. And this is just the way you take people through the funnel to become a customer. And Russell Brunson, he walks you through his secret formula step by step in this book, as well as at the end, he shows you, one of my favorites is his perfect webinar. And he shows you how to set this up online, which is basically like doing live seminars, but doing them online, and how to really perform at a high level doing this. And I think in this book, he really talks about the script, but it's one of my favorites is just the part where he shows you how psychologically all of the things work together in unison. And there's not a lot of people that can break it down like Russell and give you a lot of information and in a small book like that. And Russell Brunson has, you know, definitely a lot of energy and passion. And he comes from the old school of marketing and sales and business, under the tutelage of like Dan Kennedy and some of the likes of that nature, who are some old school advertisers and marketers. And then part 2 to that is the experts' secrets, which is the underground playbook to creating a mass movement. So once you've set up your business properly, then he shows you how to really build and to grow and to create a following and to just get a ton of attention. And I have a few things marked off on here, but one of my favorites is the one thing, right? Which is the big domino, right? That's the one thing that you try to do in this book. And what he tells you is that in sales, a lot of times people are trying to convince people of doing a lot of things. And the only thing that you really need to do is to figure out what that big domino is. And once you knock that one over, then you're good, right? It's pretty cool, right? And so there's studies shown that the more times you try to convince people of a ton of things, the less likely they are to buy. And in this book, he really shows you how to just focus on that one domino, right? And the way you figure that out is you need to know your who, why, and what. And in here, I'm trying to find it, it's who you want to serve, right? Who is it that who is your ideal client? And once you figure out who they are, what are the things that are important to them? And then once you figure out what's important to them, why would they want to purchase something from you? And then once you figure that out, then what is the main thing? In this book, he shows you and walks you through it. What is the main thing that they need that you can solve, or what's the problem that you can solve very easily? And Russell Brunson is an expert at it. This book is absolutely phenomenal. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. And what I'm starting to learn is that a lot of these things are just based off of human psychology, right? So people want to do business with people that are like them, that they know, like, and trust. And he teaches you how to present yourself in a way to make that really easy for people to know, like, and trust you, and make it easy for them to buy. And then the next book is The Invisible Selling Machine. And this is by Ryan Deiss. And Ryan Deiss has digitalmarketing.com. And this book is cool. It's really, really short. And he's one of those internet guys that's very similar to Russell, where he just uses basic principles. And in this book, it's really short. It's probably only 170 pages, 172 pages. And he shows you the power of, once you have a business rolling, the number one thing that you need to do is stay in front of your customers. And so in this book, he goes through all of the ways to follow up with your clients. Literally, he gives you templates in here. And I'm going to find a couple. He gives you email templates of what to do in this book. And as you're doing these things, he gives you emails, right? And so he really holds your hand and walks you through this process. And he even gives you a 7-day sequence to follow up with customers that is really helpful. And this guy's a genius. He explains what email to send on what day and why, and how to maximize the efficiency of using email. And that is the invisible selling machine, right? It's because if you remember that funnel, at the top of the funnel, there's a bunch of people who need your attention, but all of those people don't end up becoming customers. And so that's why we use the invisible selling machine, which is email, in order to follow up with them and stay engaged. That way, whenever it's the perfect time for them, they'll become a customer. And so that's the fourth book. And then last but not least, I know you guys have seen this book a million times, but You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. Right? And wow, I could talk so much about this book. And a lot of times people will get books and read them just for the sake of reading them, just to say they finished something. But this is one of the books that you study. So maybe 4 to 5 times a year, I go through this book, and it always amazes me that something else stands out. And so this book is really just about, really quieting all the noise and getting down to the basics, making sure that you have your positive self-image in check, your personal self-beliefs, calming down the storms of negative stories, your emotional and mental relationship with money, really calming down the seas of your spiritual life. And she really kind of talks about, spirituality in a positive way, because it can be loaded for some people, and really tapping into that, because that's our secret power. And it doesn't matter what you believe, it's just tapping into that energy, right? And using it. She talks about, really getting in tune with the self, and how to really just not take life so serious, to be calm, to be to meditate, to be grateful, to be present in the moment. And this book is absolutely phenomenal, and it's just written so well. You can even get the audio book. She actually read the book herself, and so it's really pleasant to listen to, and it's really just like a good friend, just coming to cheer you up when you're down. And this is probably the most influential book I've ever read in my whole life. So I highly, highly recommend this book. And so again, just to kind of wrap this up, the 5 books that I highly recommend is Essentialism by Greg McCone, the DotCom Secrets and the Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, and then The Invisible Selling Machine, which is by Ryan Deiss. Lastly, but certainly not the least most important book, is The You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. And so if you don't pick up any of these books, I highly recommend that you pick this one up. This one's definitely a game changer. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys are reading books that you may want to add to this, go ahead and click and type in the comments below. I love to learn about some new books that you may recommend, as well as if you've read this book, what was one thing in this book that stood out to you that really changed your life? And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Thank you guys for watching this one to the end. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. I try to put up 3 to 5 quality videos just like this, whether it be about personal life or business, as well as, I do work with life insurance agents. So if you're a life insurance agent and you're looking for consistency and predictability in your business, and you're tired of cold calling and buying leads, and you just want to have a system to where you can generate qualified leads and appointments fully automated for your business, where people are chasing you instead of you chasing them, click the link below and book a one-on-one strategy session with myself or my business partners, and we can take a walk through your business and see if we can help you. All right, thank you.